Hi folks, and welcome back to the allotment. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous evening. Monday evening after work, I've just popped down. The sun is just on the verge of setting behind me. Absolutely gorgeous. And you know, I actually came out today to try out a new tool that I've bought. I bought an irrigation system, which I'm hoping is going to help me keep that polytunnel going over summer. And I forgot it. Left it on the kitchen table. So I've just come up. But the last 2 evenings I've been up here as well, and I've been quite busy. I didn't quite have the energy to get in front of the camera. So there's quite a lot to show you today. The first thing is actually in the greenhouses, but I've just spotted these absolute beasts. Look at this. Get out of here. This red salad bowl coming on really nicely. You could probably just start taking harvest. I'm going to leave it a little bit longer, but just so glad to see it's not been slugged. I do tend to find the red lettuce do a little bit better. These ones are actually the original lettuce that I planted out, which immediately got slugged, and they've just kind of left it alone. I don't know why. All the flowers, thankfully, that were planted out in the last video have pretty much made it through. A few are looking a little worse for wear, but they've not been slugged, which is the main thing I was worried about. And these broad beans are looking really strong. I love the flowers on these. These are the Sutton Dwarf, and I can smell something that smells amazing. What is it? It's not broad beans. It smells like a honeysuckle or something that maybe a neighbour's got. But yes, the greenhouse. So, I've made some moves in here. One very, very big job has been completed, and that is repotting all of the tomatoes. They have all been done. They were all in just tiny little seed cells, seed trays, and now all of them are either in 1 litre pots or in these kind of 0.75 litre pots from Oakland Gardens that I was showing off in that last video. They all look like they've generally done pretty well. It's been 2 nights and they all look relatively happy. These ones have just been splashed a little bit, so they're looking a bit like, oh no, how could you? Look at this one. Pathetic. That's a Brad's Atomic Grape as well. Who's shocked? The most spindly of plants those ones are until they start fruiting. But yes, Saturday afternoon I came up, and it turned into Saturday evening. It was a real late one. I think I came up maybe around 5 and I didn't leave until around 9, and I wasn't expecting it to be that big a job, but for whatever reason it just took me quite a long time. Should I count how many there are? There are a lot. They're all down here, as well as the ones I was just showing you. Spoiler alert, there's too many. I was talking in that when I did my chili guide video, I was saying like how important it is to like go around and plan ahead of time. I knew exactly where every single one of my chili peppers was going to go for its final growing position. Yeah, maybe not everyone, but 90%. Tomatoes, no, it didn't bother with any of that at all, just potted them up. Is it alive? Yes, pot it up. Worry about the space later. I find you can kind of cram them in a little bit more with the tomatoes, because they just go tall. Although, well, I'm saying that, I do as I say, not as I do. In the greenhouse last year, in the ground here, I had way, way, way too many tomatoes, so I'm probably going to do that again this year. It was a bit of a nightmare in terms of like maintenance and getting in here, but it all worked. I mean, the crops were amazing, and I'm hoping, we're going to go into the polytunnel and I'll show you what I've been up to there, but I'm hoping I can get a nice support system in there. That sounds like, when someone's going through a tough time and they need a support network. No, I mean like, you know what I mean? Strings, wires, canes, whatever. Oh, I'm feeling a bit coked. It's been a long day. Anyway, I don't know what, I've completely lost track of what I was saying. Let's count the tomatoes. These are the ones that are in 1 litre pots, and these were just, a bit more developed. Some of the slightly bigger ones. So what we got? 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 down there. Now that is probably about enough for my greenhouses and for my polytunnel. But, don't worry. We've got a lot more than 20. 4, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 50, 52, 54, 56. Oh, wait for it, there's a few more. 57, 58, 59. And if we count this one, Tim's Taste of Paradise, that is 60. Maybe I should have counted. I I just really put my head down and was like, well, they're all going to get potted on. I just had my headphones on, podcast on. Where am I going to find home for 60 tomatoes? I was thinking about doing quite a few more outside this year. So I've got a few Roma, which might do okay outside. I've got some Rose Crush, I think. They might be the only varieties, actually. I was thinking this little side bed might be quite good. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Just really didn't think about this until now. There's definitely no room in the other greenhouse. This one is reserved for sowings, new sowings, and a few chili peppers on the floor and in the quad grow. There's no tomatoes that are squeezing in here. Not allowed, don't even try it. Should we have a quick look at the seedlings? Ooh, oh, look at that. What a sight. Oh, all of the Kalima just popping up. Looks a little bit creepy when you see plants moving such big bits of soil like that. Oh, that's nice and soft and crumbly. I thought it was going to be all crunchy. It's a little bit weird. What is very interesting is the ones in the shade have germinated before the ones that get the sun at the edge there. Same is true of these. You can see the moisture where the other cells have dried out and slowed it down a little bit. None of the Lima beans coming up at the back, but the yin yang beans have just started popping. Very nice to see those Kalima. There's a few of the basket flowers over here as well that Audrey sent. They're looking pretty good. Oh, we've got a dry one. We've got a dry one. What are you? Oh, wow. That isn't dry, that is desiccated. That is a very, very light pot, so I'll give that a water. I did pick up from the garden centre. I didn't actually show you these. Just a few little bits and bobs. I probably don't need these, but you know, I saw them and I wanted them. A little pumpkin, a melon, and this one is an aubergine because my aubergines have been shocking, not moving at all. A little bit of... Are you okay? Are you okay, friends, up here? You're looking a little pathetic on the courgettes. They've all germinated okay. Oh, these tomatoes, what is going on this year? Why have these gone leggy? Can anyone explain that? This is like full sun. You know, sun rises, up there it goes, whee! It's got full sun until it kind of hits that tree around 5 o'clock. Tomatoes go leggy in response to anything else? All of them, everyone in these big trays. What is that? Look at this funky weird one. What is going on in here? The big squash and that kind of thing at the end look healthy at least. And these tomatoes look okay. These germinated a little bit later. What is going on there? Very leggy brassicas. I really do need to get sorted on the cold frame, get them moving. At least some beetroot are growing. I did put some beetroot out actually. Where are they? Over here. Absolutely mullered. I just got really quite impatient basically and thought, you know, you're not moving at all in the greenhouse. So I just planted them out and they've all pretty much died, which is good. You know what? I do have some spring onion movement though. That's nice. I planted those out. We do have something in a bed. I just can't believe I potted up 60 tomato plants. That is really silly. I didn't think about it. I did not think. Anyway, yes, we're going to the polytunnel to show you the other evening that I spent up here. It's going to look a little rough, I think. Oh, that's bad. I actually forgot I'd left those outside. That's a bit sloppy. But in here, we have movement. Now, you probably can't tell, actually, on camera, but what I've done is started filling in the massive gaping hole that was here from the failed hotbed experiment. This is where I dug out like 1 metre into the soil and filled it with raw horse manure, hoping it would cook. We could get some early stuff on the go. You know, I think even if I'd done that, it wouldn't have had enough light with the month that we had, the start to the season. But basically what I've been doing is just scraping off the topsoil across this whole bed because it was just about, I mean, I've got a lot of like wood and stuff lying around, but I do have an edge to this raised bed in the polytunnel and the soil was all pretty much at this level. It was actually a little bit too high because it meant when it came to like mulching and putting more material on here, it was really going to be kind of overflowing a little bit. So what I've done is gone around, scraped a good amount of that kind of top layer of soil, filled up the hole, and now we've got a nice little depression to basically empty out all of these bags of manure into. You can see I've cut down a load of the rocket. I actually buried that as well as a bit of a green manure type thing. I don't know, I was feeling a little bit like, let's give it a go. Lettuce still doing absolutely fantastic. This stuff is gorgeous. I'm pretty sure it's Saladin. And And it's one of my favourite lettuce. It's so sweet. Really, really nice lettuce. We had a massive salad with this for dinner yesterday, and it was oh yes, so good. The stuff you look forward to. I do need to get the flowers off those leeks, but you can see here as well, what I've done is basically cut down all of these cabbages which were bolting, and I've just left all of the material on the bed. I thought, you know what, let's do a bit of green manure, green mulching. And I mean, we've still got a while. You've just seen those tomatoes. I'm really, really pleased because the tomatoes are moving in the right direction. They're finally going after, I sowed those March 15th, so they're finally moving, which is fantastic. But they've still got a long way to go before I put them in the ground, I think. Bit of a shame. I think I would like to be doing it within the next week or two. It's probably going to be a bit longer than that, but they'll catch up. Tomatoes will catch up. It's just been a slow year. It really has been a bit of a slow start to the year. So I'm trying not to worry about it. I'm trying not to stress out. We just recorded Potty Mouth, and Tony was kind of asking at the end, we were talking about empty beds. And empty beds, fill them up. You need stuff in them. Go to the garden centre, just fill them up. But I'm not too worried. If you have a slow start to the year, you have a slow start to the year. There's so many people who don't even have greenhouses or polytunnels or anything. So yes, do not worry if you're far behind, is my point. Come out to the garden, enjoy what you're doing. That's the bottom line, isn't it, at the end of the day? But I thought it'd be good to get this, moving towards preparation, because tomatoes can really surprise you. Okay? They can really sneak up on you. And in 2 weeks, we're going on holiday again. I'm going away to Italy. First time abroad in a long time. And I do wonder if I want to get the tomatoes into the ground before that. I can imagine doing that like the Saturday before we're going, I'm like down here trying to cram 60 tomatoes in there, and Jess is like, come back, you need to pack. We need to get on a plane. I'm like, I'm just doing the tomatoes. I can see it happening now. Don't tell Jess. Don't watch this one, please, Jess. I do have 3 chili peppers as well that are going to go in here, and a few flowers. I think I did work this out, and I think comfortably I could have got about 20 in here. Roughly, very roughly. Like, I think maybe I could get away with 3 in a row, but I was planning on doing 2. And yeah, you could get away with 3 in there, couldn't you? What's that? About a metre? 115. I got the tape measure out. So suggestions in the comments, please, folks. So we're going to crowdsource this one. It's a democratic decision. Do I do 2s or do I do 3s in the line like that? I think 2 is probably the sensible option, isn't it? And then spacing, I don't know what, 50 centimetres? 60? Is that too? Oh, I can't remember. But in my head, I had about 20. So like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 22, maybe 24. Each one of these bays is 5 foot. So that might give you an idea about how many lines of tomatoes I can get in there. I definitely worked this out much earlier in the year. And I just got a bit so happy, That was really all I wanted to show you today. It was meant to be, hey look, I've planted up all the tomatoes and things are moving in the polytunnel, things are happening. And it turned into me hysterically laughing at my own inability for restraining myself when I was potting up. But I've got a little bit of time up here now, so I think I might do a little bit of sowing, actually. I've got lots and lots on the go for the trials, all down there, and we've got some fantastic movement on the beans. I'm a little bit concerned about, these trays up the top. Any ideas in the comments? Let me know. It seems like this, I'm worried it might be getting a bit too hot. All of this stuff isn't moving as quickly as these guys. These guys seem pretty happy, but this stuff, not so much. I do need to give this flower tray a little water, and probably most of those flowers up there now need to be planted out. I've kept this little salad tray just to see, what are you gonna do? What are you actually doing with your life? Why are you just so appalling? Just rubbish. It's been so slow since day one. I've been feeding it. I've given it liquid feed. Just rubbish. Just absolute pants. Oh, there is a really good one down here. This is like one of my original salad trays, and these all picked up, and I've been sort of planting these out every few days. I think there's a few more in here. I might plant most of these out today, actually. They are all getting pretty chunky, which is fantastic. got a bit of a mixture. Webb's Wonderful and Saladin. And these are the Frankie seeds I just sowed the other day. Some new lettuce just popping up, which is nice. The idea has been to pretty much every time I plant something out, plant something new. And it's gone okay. I've actually kind of been on top of the salad. You know, everywhere you look, there's a little bit of salad somewhere on the bed now. By salad, I mean lettuce, but very positive. But I tell you what's not positive, the brassicas this year are pants. They're doing my head in. I repotted all of these like, I don't know, maybe a week ago or something like that. And it's just, they've barely moved. They've barely moved. I think I lost you there. I think you were just looking at the brassicas. But I've got some broccoli rabe as well. Bolted. And now it feels like quite late to be starting a lot of brassicas. They've just not moved at all this year. Has to be, out of everything, my worst performing crop this year. Golden acre. Where's my broccoli? I can't see any purple sprouting broccoli there that I've planted up. Where's that gone? Oh, I think I knocked that over and then had to re-sow it. Is it in this tray? It is in this tray, but I've really dropped the ball with the brassicas this year. Look at this. Pathetic. One's just germinated. Very weird. I don't know if it's the weather or me. Normally I like to get the brassicas a little bit earlier, you know, get them going in March, February, March, so that it's nice and cool and they don't get too hot. But, through March and April, they just sat there doing nothing. So I've had them in the slightly shadier, slightly cooler parts, but it just doesn't feel like they're playing ball. A little bit frustrating, a little bit weird. Normally brassicas grow pretty well for me at seedling stage. It's normally when I put them out into the bed that they have their wobbles and they bolt, or they just don't really get the size I was hoping for. But to fail at brassicas this early in the stage, it is a bit of a weird year for me. I'm generally, still being quite positive about everything, and a lot of things are moving, which is fantastic. But I might just restart a load of brassicas today, to be honest. I've got some new ones like this Spigarello, which I can get going. And yeah, I don't know, I'm going to spend some time doing a bit of sowing, and we'll see what I've done. I need to get the seeds packets out and properly rifle through them, and it takes bloody ages. I must say, I think this is probably my favourite time to garden. Either sunset or sunrise, I guess. Every now and then I have like one of those 5 a.m. mornings in July where you wake up a bit early. It's gorgeous outside, the birds are singing, and you go, let's beat the heat. But this kind of sunset, nice and cool, just really love it. Find it really, really peaceful. Now, I've only done 2 trays. It's taken me a little while. I think the time-consuming thing for me with seed sowing is just picking the stuff. I think I spend a lot of time going through the seed box going, ooh, yeah, I could do that. Where would I put it? How did it do last year? How does it taste? Is it the right time? Just taking ages. But we've got 2 trays. The first one is a brassica repeat, and this does feel a little bit like, definition of madness, doing the same thing over and over. But I've sown some more purple sprouting broccoli, some red cabbage, some Durham early, some Spigarello as well. And I'm just hoping that maybe these ones do a bit better. I've done them in the slightly larger cells, the 4s across, hoping that will do a little bit better. And I've got my squash done. So we've got all sorts in here. There's a few cucumbers as well. A Carmen F1 cucumber, that's for indoor growing, so you need to find space for that as well. Amazing. Don't think about it too much, JB. Just, grow it. Worry about it later. I've got an Astia F1 courgette, one of those things that just fell into the basket the other day, a fresh seed. And then I've got loads of squashes. So butterbush, butternut, Marina di Chioggia, I think it's that one. I've got the honey nut and the spaghetti squash as well. Last year, I think I did 3 trays of these for squashes, and it was way too many. I had loads of really exciting new varieties. I tell you what, my failed crop last year was the squash, 100%. I got I think 2 butternut squashes and 1 pathetic Marina di Chioggia, which was just I don't even think it was ripe. The plants all just died. I don't know if they just didn't get enough water or what, but none of my squash plants did it for me last year. This year, it seems like it's going to be the brassicas. But you know what? I've just spent a long time in the greenhouse. I'm just surrounded by my chili peppers, and I often spend a lot of time on the channel talking about why I love the chili peppers so much and the joy that they bring me. And it's just so true. I say it all the time, but they just buoy my spirit. If my chilies are going right, then for me, like, almost nothing else matters. It's just silly, you know, I've got a whole allotment here. But if the chilies are right, it's kind of like my weather vane. You know, if the chilies are good, I'm good. I feel good. Just being around them, it just cheers me up. I love it. And it's this one in particular that is really doing it for me today, the goshu or the gochu, one of my Korean peppers, which is just really healthy. It's got that really nice dark green healthy leaf and just looking really, really healthy. Nice strong stem, nice new leaves coming off the stem as well. Just love it. I love it. It's fantastic. This was only meant to be a quick one today. I'm going to get planting out. I've got loads more to plant out. And like these lettuce, I've got too much lettuce. I was just looking around and it's dotted around everywhere, but a very good problem to have. It's one of the few things that is really growing for me this year, but I'm going to do that. And a few more potatoes as well that I've got to plant. I've kind of forgotten about. They're languishing. Mice has just started nibbling them down there. So I'm going to put some of those out in the new 30-litre pots. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you again next time. An extra special thank you to all of my Chili Pepper Tier patrons: Tony, Bill, Pam, Louise, Mel, Michael, Denise, Socks in the Garden, Andrew, Sarah, Angela, Dorcasaur, Louise, Brett and Andre. Hopefully I'll see you again next time.